we can get a new 6-figure car in the showroom and it's cool and I'll get excited. These get me jacked. I love finding stuff like this, and most people do. And it's very, very complete. It hasn't been robbed of parts or this or that.
Right.
Of course, I got the story that it ran when it parked. They parked it there. They drove it there. Sure. You know, that's what everybody says.
Real cars, real guys, and real talk. Live from the gearbox at Unique Classic Cars. Welcome to Motorhood.
I'm kind of intrigued by your love of Impalas, Mr.
Right.
Suspension and handling guy.
Yeah.
And now you're going into the intermediate sized cars from the 60s.
I was telling you this morning, this is a car that could pull me away from a performance and handling vehicle from the last 20 years. Right here, right? Mm-hmm. I love Impalas. 64 is my favorite year, then this thing came in.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
62, this has a 283,
yep.
Right? So you, what, 185 horsepower, something like that?
Oh, yeah, all of that.
But if you're driving this car, are you really thinking about that?
You're right.
Right? I mean, you got to understand what you're dealing with, and it's plenty of motor, just like the 327 we're going to talk about when we get to the 64.
Yep.
Let's look at this tuxedo black 1962 True SS.
Yeah, the thing with this car that I like, and I always err towards originality, and I'm a big originality fan. You know, a lot of cars that we get in, and it's fine, you know, these 50, 60, 70-year-old cars, they've had a repaint or several repaints. A lot of people change colors and everything else. This is a paint code 900, which is tuxedo black. This car was born just the way you see it, black with the red interior. Now, a lot of people, when they restore one, they switch it to this combo because it looks freaking amazing.
Yeah.
This one was actually born this way,
I love
which is awesome. Bucket seats with the center console, the nice little touch with the wheels. You know, the car would have came, of course, with steel wheels and the hubcaps. However, we were talking about this the other day with the dual antennas. When and why did that become a fashion statement? I wonder, it'd be interesting to research the dual antennas and see why that became a cultural thing.
I think it started in 58.
Yeah?
And it was just specifically aesthetics. I don't know if you actually got better radio reception with it, right? You and I both know when guys are looking for Impalas, if they're both
that
there.
Look.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Exactly.
Some of the fine details on the 62 that will draw me away from the 64.
Yeah.
It's the front and back end. I like this gradual slope in the grille.
Oh, sure. Yep.
Right?
Yeah, 64 is more straight.
Yep, straight up and down.
Mm-hmm.
And when you get to the back, and I was having this discussion with you in your office this morning.
Yeah, it was rather inappropriate, George. I mean, you're making me so uncomfortable.
I know.
Are you going to be honest with the viewers and tell them what you said?
60 and 61, they still had protruding. Now listen. Has that little dip, right? And it started, and this is when when the taillights really started to figure things out. Uh-huh. And I'll be honest with you, the back end of the 62 is my favorite year because of the way they filled all of this in.
Yeah.
And 63 looked good, but they had that dip.
Yep.
And then 64, they kind of figured the whole car out.
This badge wasn't here. How can you tell by looking at the back end if it's an SS or not?
That's a good question.
Aha.
I have not. What would be the giveaway?
The machine turned panel here, I don't believe is present on a regular Impala. I think that's SS only. I can fact check myself on that, or our fans can, but I believe that's
here's an option
back then. So
because you know how much I love, and I know you do too. You're kind of an authentic guy. Mm-hmm. If you want to put the regular tires back on, yes, it's all there.
Look at that. There's the 62 spinners.
Right.
And so the 14-inch wheels.
Original trim. It's got the valve covers. All of this is included. So if you want to drop back and you want that original look.
So would you leave it alone then? Or would you put those on?
I would leave this car just the way it is. But this car setting the way it is, tuxedo black, it just blends with, I just like the way it looks. He did a great job restoring without sacrificing or compromising the integrity of the car.
Correct.
I love this car.
Yeah, it is gorgeous. And as you and the viewers know, to get a black car to look as straight as this one is a lot of work and a lot of money. Or when they repainted it, it was that nice and original yet that they didn't have to mess with it. There is no signs of Bondo or anything in this car. Nope. You can tell there's no fat seams or anything like that. If you're looking for one of these, this is the cat's meow right here.
It is. I mean, to me, this could pull me away from a 64.
Speaking of originality, don't we have a 64 to look at, right?
I better leave the keys here, otherwise I'm going to get in trouble. And as soon as it came in, I asked you, I was like, that looks like original paint.
This car is a 64 Impala, also a true SS. It's not just metal and rubber.
Right.
It's the story, right? The gentleman that traded this car in, his family has had this car since 1968. Two family-owned car, and it is original. It is original paint, original motor. When do you find a 50, 60, 70-year-old car that hasn't been messed with? Almost never.
And you know, and we've talked about that. And you know, even the guys in our body shop and the guys that do great restoration work that I've known, they see a car with an original paint still in this condition, they wouldn't touch it.
No.
That's what they tell you. They'll be like, clear coat it, do what you need to prevent further corrosion, but you keep it just the way it is.
I've had a couple people ask me already if we're going to repaint this car. I said, absolutely not.
No, yeah.
They're original once, and that's it.
Yeah.
So we want to do our best to maintain that. Again, this car is seen as it was born with the red and the parchment interior, bucket seats and a console on this one as well, of course, as an SS should have, power steering. But I remember a few episodes ago we talked about the brakes. Here's another, look at this, single pot, manual brakes. So, you know, you see get on the newer cars, there's this big thing hanging there, you know.
Yeah.
This one, not so much. Nice and simple, easy to deal with. So.
327, now I know a lot of guys are like, the holy grail would be the 409. You know, potential, when you start talking horsepower, I understand the torque you get with the big block, right? But this 327 has potential to up to 375 horsepower versus the 409, which is 425.
Yep.
And this is plenty of motor for this car. And every guy that you talk to, the mechanics, the guys back here behind this window, no cars, they'll tell you that's a solid motor.
Oh, you can drive the snot out of that. It's they're I don't want to say they're bulletproof, but they're damn close.
And this car, like you said, original paint, and it's all here. I would drive it just the way it is.
Oh, absolutely. And this car also has the original SS caps in the trunk, the original steel wheels. So, you know, a lot of folks make a wheel swap just to spruce them up a little bit, but I love the fact that they resisted the urge over all those years to start messing with it.
Right.
They left it alone, and we're thankful for that.
And like back to that original paint for a second, you know, I had a guy explain it to me, and he goes, "You look at yourself in the mirror after 60 years."
Yeah.
Right? It's battle scars.
Battle scars.
It's life. He goes, it's the same thing for that car. I mean,
Yes.
if you're a 64 Impala guy, this is one that you can get out. It's from what I have not had a chance to drive it, but they told me that it runs solid.
Yeah, I know they drove it here from a ways away. So.
And you could this could be a daily driver in the summer.
Absolutely.
Freaking nice car.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Now, not all Impalas start like this, because you do find a few that are, well, lost in the woods.
So I want to show you this Impala. It's right here. Here's a 1963 Impala.
What the? No.
I'm just kidding.
Okay.
Here's the one I wanted to show you. Now, when we talk about originality, right?
Yeah.
This is original. I got a phone call from a gentleman here a couple weeks ago. He had bought this property. It was a foreclosure or something like that. And he said, there's some old cars behind the barn, kind of in the tall grass there. You can hardly see them, but they're there. Can you go out there and look at them and, you know, whatever. So I go out there and I'm like, holy crap. I'm right away, because of the taillights, I'm like, it's a 60 Impala. And then I get close and it's a flat top. I'm like, are you kidding me? Oh, wait, there's another car in front of it. It's another flat top. So these two cars have been sitting literally out behind the barn in the grass for decades. 20, 30 years at least, the way it sounded, and relatively solid yet. And the four-door flat top, we've talked about those before, very desirable in a four-door. The four-door sedans aren't quite as popular, people still like them, but the flat top, because all four windows go down, you've got open air cruising, the shape of the back window is cool. People love these cars. We can get a new six-figure car in the showroom and it's cool and I'll get excited. These get me jacked. I love finding stuff like this, and most people do. And it's very, very complete. It hasn't been robbed of parts or this or that.
Right.
Of course, I got the story that it ran when it parked. They parked it there. They drove it there. Sure. You know, that's what everybody says, and maybe they're right. But it's complete. This would have been a 283 car, and the motor's still there. I do believe it is seized up. Start working on getting that loosened up. See if we can bring this one back to life. But on some of our branded shirts, which you can find at uniqueclassiccars.com, is one of my favorite sayings: the hunt is never over.
That is right here.
Here's the proof. There you go. It's on the hoodies and t-shirts and stuff. The hunt is never,
it isn't.
ever
Right.
over. And just when you think they're all gone and there's none left, we've got two 1960 flat tops. The other one over there is actually, that one's got a little more, it's got some rust issues and stuff, but still, it is a complete flat top. The glass is good and all of that, all the trim is there. I mean, this is a find. And I suspect that once this airs, these probably won't be here very long.
I actually was back here about a year ago, and we had a 64 in about this condition back here.
Yep.
Sold it to a guy in New Mexico, and you should see it now. As a matter of fact, we'll give you an example, a quick look when we get back inside of a 60.
How it can go from this to amazing, right?
The one thing I love about these flat tops too, like you mentioned, is all the glass.
Yes.
You know, you can see from anywhere in this car.
Yep.
You can tell that it was just sitting because the taillights, everything's solid.
None of the lenses are broken or anything like that. Yeah, I couldn't resist. I'm like, yeah, we got to buy those.
God.
So, very, very cool.
So when you come across something like this, what are some of the things that stand out and you'd be like, yeah, a project guy would look at this car and go, let's do it?
There's several things you look for. I mean, in any car, whether it's a project or a good one. Is it a desirable model and or body style? Check. Yes.
Yeah.
Is a 60 Impala a popular car? Check.
Check.
Is it relatively solid so that you could still work with it? Check. And it goes on from there. So these cars, this one especially, that one still can be worked. You just have a little more metal work on that one, but it's absolutely worth saving.
Oh God!
I mean, just the glass, the roof, the parts alone is several $1,000s on one of these. So let alone if you want to try to restore it or bring it up to the next level, the value's there, 100%.
Oh, absolutely.
Yep.
I would love to be on one of those adventures when you're climbing through the weeds, through the backwoods, and all of a sudden you stumble on this.
Yep. It is the greatest. It's one of the greatest feelings. It's what keeps me going. I love finding stuff like this. You know, when I literally, the phone call is like, yeah, there's a couple of 4 doors behind the barn. You know, so I'm on the way out there going, okay. That's all he knew. He wasn't a car guy. There's a couple of 4 doors behind the barn.
Oh my God.
You know, and for a minute I'm like, I don't even know if I want to go. Right. And then I've learned a long time ago, always go. Because you never know what you're going to see. Bang.
A great example, we'll take a quick peek at a car we've got in the showroom right now that has been modified, restored, and it's an example of what you can do with a 1960 Impala.
Let's do it.
So here it is. I'm just going
to... Okay.
And bam!
Now you could turn what we just saw outside into this.
Right?
Well, except this is a 2-door, but still.
It is. But it's a 60 Impala, and
This is the quality that our shop can do. We can take that car that we just looked at outside and turn it into this.
Oh, for sure.
Any engine, any transmission, anything like that.
You know what I really like? And you know how I have no problems with the LS swap? 350.
You like that?
Yeah, I do like that.
It's a get in and go, low maintenance is go.
Yep.
Absolutely.
I love this car, but this is an example. I mean, I don't know what this car started like, but this is an example of what you've seen out back, you can turn into this.
Yep.
And the interior is every bit as nice as the car itself.
Yep. Well, let's put a wrap on this,
Let's do it. Are you as big of an Impala fan as I am?
You may or may not remember this. My very first classic car was a 64 Impala.
Was
very first one. It was $3,500.
327?
300 horse, 327, 4-speed car. Bondo popping along the bottom all over the place.
Sure.
Dark blue. I had to finance it because I was 20, I think, when I bought it. I mean, can you imagine walking into a bank and asking for a loan for $3,500 now?
No.
To a 20-year-old kid on a classic car.
No.
I don't. Thank goodness the lady liked me. I think she knew where I worked and stuff. So I to this day I don't understand how I got a loan.
Right.
But
by the way, we don't have that problem here when we're selling cars. We deal with banks that understand the value of the cars.
Yes, exactly. That also helps.
Yeah, it does. It helps
indeed.
a ton.
So to answer your question, yes, I love Impalas.
Do you currently own an Impala?
I do not.
You do not, because I'm a big 6'4" guy, and you got to say it like this: a 6'4".
You are not 6'4".
But I think pop culture played into that, obviously.
Oh, my gosh, absolutely.
It made that car a little bit more popular. But seeing that 62, to me, that is the complete package. It's just all there. And then when you pop the trunk, and if you want to go back to the original wheels, there they are.
It's all there.
Right?
Yeah, 62 was the first year of that body style. 62, 3, and 4 were similar. But they tweaked them every year. You know, unlike again, I could go off on a rant. Okay, maybe I will. New cars these days versus what they did back then. Every year there was something that was changed.
Right.
And I don't mean, they changed the little logo on the radio dial.
Yeah.
They changed the taillights, the front end. Yes, the body shell maybe was the same.
Right.
Maybe. But cosmetics changed all the time. I mean, some complete body styles, like a 58 Impala, 1 year only.
Right.
59 Impala, 59 and 60 were sisters, but drastically different
Well,
looking.
the taillights in 59 with the cat eye. Yeah.
And now you look at, go look at a, I don't know, just pick a generic car, and how many years do they look exactly the same?
Yeah.
It's boring.
And there's no real style to me other than aerodynamics, right? That seems to be where it's all headed, and people. I think that's one of the reasons, and going back to the Sydney Sweeney thing, I'm telling you, that's one of the reasons that people are attracted to classic cars. You don't have that styling anymore.
Correct.
I mean, it's a completely different feel and look. And to me, the look is a big part of it.
Yeah,
And there's something about Impalas that just the design, and I'm not a huge fan of the late 50s stuff, but when they got to 60, that's, to me, when they started to really, when it moved into the average American family, it just, their own design started to develop, and it was just going to be a thing, because the average person wanted to have a car that looked cool.
Right, exactly.
And they did it.
To be fair, we're sitting here, I'm about to talk out of both sides of my mouth, though. I'm talking about how nice it is that they change and everything else, but then look at the opposite of what happened. Look at a square, wow.
Square.
Look at a square body Chevy truck.
Right.
1973 to 1987. That's by model years, that's a 15-year run.
Right.
And that sucker stayed square as square could be. Did they change a little bit of the trim? Did they? Yes. But that body, outside of a couple, early years, the side marker light went from horizontal to vertical, or, the hood maybe tweaked a little bit. But that was the same truck for 15 years. And they rocked it.
Yeah.
And now look at how popular they are. So what's better? Consistency or changing it up?
Do you think they could bring a square body look back? Because I see T-shirts, hats all over the place with these guys going, make Chevy square again.
Yes.
Right?
That's a great idea.
You know, and it's just like, they're really craving that classic look.
Yep, 100%.
That's one thing we've never really touched on yet that we should look at sometime is trucks.
Oh, yeah.
Because we have a great selection of trucks.
Yep.
It's just that when you're dealing with 200 vehicles in the showroom,
you got to pick something.
Right? I have to touch on this because this is the conversation that comes up every time before we wrap here, but the 409 versus the 327, I get it. I understand the big block and all of that, but guys, if you come across an Impala with a 327, don't sell the car short because it doesn't have the 409.
Correct, yeah, and especially if it's a 300 horse with the double hump heads. If it's a 300 horse 327, are you going to go 0 to 60 in 4.3? No, but it's adequate.
Right.
You're not going to be like, oh my gosh, I need to get out and push.
No.
It's not like that at all.
And then consider the car it's pushing.
Correct,
right?
yeah.
It's built for that. If you get the 327 or the 409, regardless,
just gas it.
Just gas it.